Hello, listeners. I'm Timstradamus, and welcome back to another Feel Good Friday. Joining me, as always, is my talented and beautiful co-hostess, Voyse.
Good morning, Timstradamus, and welcome to all of our listeners. Make sure you're creeping it real out there.
Creeping it real.
You like it?
Yeah.
I figured we're in October. Might as well go for some of these Halloween-y puns.
I'm here for it.
Just in case anyone comes in and is absolutely new to this is strictly just us telling really good, wholesome stories. Something to start your weekend off with a positive note. But before we get into those stories, I've got mystery drink for you.
I saw you put it down, and it looks gross.
We'll see. I tried a sip of it. Who knows what you might think of this one?
It looks like a bunch of frog eggs in this drink.
It's a perfect Halloween-y looking drink, though.
You know, when I said we're going to try some stuff, yeah, it looks gross.
It looks a little slimy.
Yeah. So what is it?
It is a basil seed melon flavored drink.
Ew.
So this one I actually really like, but I know you don't like it because you don't like honeydew melon.
Is that what that is?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I hate
you
honeydew.
You hate honeydew melon.
Yeah.
So when I saw this, I was like, I think that's a honeydew melon, but I'm not sure. And of course, the thing that you're seeing in it are basil seeds, which to me kind of look like chia seeds. I love honeydew melons, so this is something you hate and I love.
I hate it so much.
I think it tastes great, but that's just me.
This is definitely for you.
Well, now that we've gotten your drink out of the way, because I know you ain't going to touch that again, why don't we go ahead and start us with this first feel-good story. For our first story, Windshield note. To the man who left this thoughtful note on my windshield at Lower Pines Campground this weekend, I extend my heartfelt gratitude. Your acknowledgement of my efforts to be a good father means a great deal to me. And here's the note that was written. Bro, I camped in the spot behind you last night. Let me just say, you are killing it as a dad. First off, I watched your wife guide you in as you backed up your trailer and nailed it on the first try without any yelling. Then, your kids unloaded from the truck and were mild-mannered and well-behaved. You told stories around the campfire, and I had the pleasure of listening to the sounds of giggles and laughter. From one dad to another, you were killing it. Keep it up. P.S. Whatever you cooked for dinner smelled delicious.
That's a cute story.
I think this is just one of those moments where when you have individuals who have gone through that same pace in life with you, it's nice to be acknowledged by them when you're doing good, at least on that front.
It's nice when you get to see other people parenting, and either it gives you pause where you're like, you know what? I think I could do better. Or when you go, I really need to leave a letter of acknowledgement for this person. I think it's nice when you can have that pause in life.
I agree. What I find really funny is, of course, Redditors will always have a funny spin to this. And they said, as heartfelt as this sounds like the working vacation of a serial killer. I was going to kill you, but you made the children laugh and I changed my mind.
Bro. He starts a little off with that. I can agree with that.
I thought between the wholesome leaving of the note and then, of course, Redditor's little twisted humor, it was all it filled me with warmth and laughter just for this funness of this whole situation.
Now, my hand was on the hilt, but then I heard you didn't yell at your wife backing up the car.
Your children were giggling, but they were well behaved.
Good story.
Well, let's go on to our next story. Moved back in with dad at 33. My wife, 33 female, and I, 33 male, have been together for 13 years and married for the past 2. We recently had our first child, a 7-month-old son, and honestly, he's amazing. We also have a 90-pound lab/Rottweiler mix who thinks he's a lap dog and is a big scaredy cat. Recently, we stumbled across our dream home in a new community being built within the school zone we really wanted for our son. It was the perfect opportunity, so we put down a deposit, and the house is set to be finished by November 1st. Of course, that meant we needed to sell our current home. I did some fixes, got it listed in late June, and figured it would take a couple months to sell. I had started looking for short-term rentals in case we sold the house early, but wow, those are expensive. So I called my dad and asked if we could stay with him temporarily when our house sold, and he was excited to have us back. Then our house sold in 12 hours. We got an offer $40,000 over asking, no inspections, with the only condition being we had to be out in 2 weeks. It was too good to pass up. My dad was super understanding, got a room ready for us, and even helped move our stuff into storage and his place. Fast forward to last Saturday, my wife went out of town to visit her folks with our son and dog. I stayed back for work. That night, I found myself alone in my childhood room. The walls were still the same color, the shelves unchanged. Even the deep gouge I made while moving furniture out for college was still there. Sitting on the floor with a cup of tea, I was flooded with memories. Good, bad, exciting, and everything in between. I felt grateful for the childhood I had, and I started thinking about how I want my son to have that same feeling when he grows up. As I sat there, my dad knocked on the door and asked if he could come in. He saw me sitting on the floor and seemed surprised, but he sat down on the bed and asked what was on my mind. I thought for a second, then said, "Dad, last time I lived here, all that immediately mattered to me was in this room, my TV, models, Legos, Xbox, computer. It was my stuff, and I couldn't imagine leaving without it. Now I'm back, and none of that matters. The only immediate things I care about in this room now are my wife, my son, and dog. Nothing else." He smiled, patted my knee, and said, "Welcome to fatherhood, son. It's amazing how your perspective changes as you grow into the man and husband your family relies on. Never stop growing, learning, and loving. This is the life your mom and I wanted for you. Love you." Then he got up and left. It was such a small moment, but it meant a lot to me. It really hit home how much things have changed, how much I've grown. If you've made it this far, thanks for reading. Just wanted to share a wholesome moment from life.
That is a wholesome moment. Those are fun when you can have introspection, especially if you still have your folks around. Or if you are lucky enough, like in this OP situation, to still have your room intact. It's crazy how a time capsule can kind of frame what you were thinking at a time period, and then how small and insignificant all of it is really at the end as you get older, as you take on different roles in your life, and how things used to be and how quickly life flies by. It sounds like his dad loves the hell out of him, because not only did he say, "Hell yeah, you can come and stay until you get into your new place," but he helped him move in.
Oh, yes. I think it's heartwarming. I know I'll never experience going into a time capsule quite like this. And I do have my memories with my father, and I feel very blessed that I had such a wonderful person in my life, that it has inspired me to want to be a good parent and to show patience and love. I think what makes this so great is rarely do we have that moment where there's that passing of the torch. I wish my father could still be here so that he could see that while I might have been a little wild and kind of sporadic when I was younger, I did settle into a person that I'm very proud of and that I believe he would be very proud of. I just wish that I could hear it. You can definitely feel how our OP has taken that moment and has realized that his father is proud of him because his father gets to see him grow through these moments. And now him as a new father is going to get to enjoy those experiences with his son. I will say, if you're always looking to better yourself, just because that moment didn't happen with you as the child becoming the adult that you'd like to be, it doesn't mean that you still can't have that moment with your own children when that time comes. Blessings come in different ways. And for me, we get the perspective of the child with a parent, and I think that's lovely. I think that there's just as equally a more memorable moment being that parent who gets to experience the joy of that moment as well.
Fantastic story.
Thank you.
I'm happy they were able to share it with the world.
Me too. Well, as our wholesome stories come to a close, don't forget, you see in the world what you carry in your heart.
And for those of you still around, why?
Go start your weekend.
It's Friday.
Have some pizza.
Pizza Friday is always good. Homemade Pizza Friday is the best.
Oh, yeah. Extra cheese.
That's our tradition.
So delicious.
What is yours? Bye.